Nat 20. Hi folks, Merlin here, bringing you another Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer video. So yeah, I think I mentioned in the previous video, but a lot has happened since the last time. We've had several new reveals. Issues 12 to 22 have been revealed by Fohammer. And there's the Dungeons & Dragons Hachette page, which has been updated to show, I think that's issue 19 now. So taking us well into the new year. But we're here today to talk about issue 8, our brand new issue. So this week we learn about mounted combat. We take a tour of Neverwinter. And we also got tools to learn as well, plus our usual mission for the week. This issue comes with a set of beautiful black and red dice. We'll have a close look at those over on the table. And that's it for free gifts. But we are learning, like I said, a fair bit in this issue. There's a lot to go through. So without further ado, let's get the rigmarole out of the way, which is the usual. Don't forget, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And check all the links in the description down below. So, big thank you to all my supporters. You guys keep me going, even if my studio is a little on the cold side at the moment. But, yeah, let's jump over to the table and take a look through issue 8. So here we are on the table with our brand new issue, and like I said, we learn about mounted combat, taking a tour of Neverwinter, we learn about the tools of our different adventurers, we meet the Lord's Alliance, and of course we have that new and exclusive adventure to play. But we also have our usual freebies. So with this issue we get this beautiful set of red and black dice. So they're cast in black with this beautiful imprinted detail. Makes some of the numbers a little hard to read at a quick glance, but they are really quite nice. They're a little bit bigger than our usual dice. So they feel a little more like a premium set. Come on, open. This is the first time I've got these guys out the bag. So, got our D10s there. Our D8. So each of the higher values has the D&D and there as the number. D20, so this is the one that's going to be the little hardest of all to read. It's coming across nice and clear now, but at a quick glance I can see everything's going to blend in. You could easily mistake that for the 8. Yeah, sometimes too much detail is a bad thing, but they do look quite nice. The 6 is probably the clearest. Nice large black circles with the red number in the center. D4, surprisingly well readable. D100, and of course our D12. So let's bring in my dice tray. And we'll give them their customary first roll. Ooh, D20 is escaping. So we've got 6, 13, 3, 3, 3, 2, and 60. So not too bad a roll. Pretty low on some of the values. So we'll give them a second roll just to see if we can get any better. That's not too bad. We've got 6 again, so that's a really good dice. 10. So not too good on the D100 there. Good on the D10, 7. 2, 3, 11, and an 18 on the D20. So that's not too bad. like I said, these dice definitely feel like a premium set, so you'd probably expect to pay a little more for these. They are branded at the D&D end, but yeah, otherwise it's just another set of dice, and we are going to eventually get sick of seeing these. I'm beginning to think that perhaps this magazine is aimed particularly at one person to collect and give the dice and other bits out to a group. But yeah, right, as we got a lot to do and read through, let's get into the magazine. Alright then, let's have a look at our issue. So, full of contents for issue 8, we have Adventure 1 Mission 8, Fun at the Fair. So we have quite a bit of sage advice. We got section A, page 11 sizes, section C, section C part 3B, spell area of effect part 2, and section D, 5, mounted combat. Character creation, we got 2 overview pages, so section A, pages 8 and 9, alignment and tools. And section D, backgrounds, chapter 1, Outlander. Then finally for our lore, we got 2 pages. So locations, we look at Neverwinter, and factions, the Lord's Alliance. Then as usual, we got our bottom box here. So this issue comes with a fantastic set of exclusive red and black dice. Either keep with your collection or give to a member of your party. And we've got the QR code to visit D&D Beyond. Right, let's start looking at our sage advice, and we have page 11, sizes. A large troll stands on a bridge, blocking the path of a dragonborn warrior. A halfling flees down a narrow cavern, escaping the jaws of a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex. Creature sizes matter and can affect a game in multiple ways. So this starts explaining the difference of sizes in Dungeons and Dragons. So there's the realm come in all shapes and sizes. So there's tiny up to gargantuan, with in between we have small, medium, large and huge. Most player characters are generally medium or small, medium characters being dwarves, elves and humans, who are between 4 and 8 feet tall. And then we have smaller characters such as halflings and gnomes, which are between 2 and 4 feet tall. Over the page we have a little bit of a size chart here. So tiny, we've got a little fairy there. Small, we've got a hobgoblin. Medium, a human. Large, we've got an ogre. Huge, we've got a giant or half giant. And gargantuan, we've got a burrowing worm creature there. So, size and space. In games, creatures of a certain size are said to take up a certain amount of space. For instance, tiny creatures take up an area 2.5 by 2.5 feet. So roughly half a square, I think, because each square is roughly 5 feet in movement space. Medium and small creatures will take up to 5 feet area, then going up in increments of 5 up to 20 foot by 20 foot for gargantuan creatures. So we have a note here about heavy metal. Some creatures, notably small and tiny, will have disadvantage if they are using a weapon that has the heavy property. But this two-headed ogre doesn't have much trouble swinging a giant club. You can, of course, squeeze if you are in desperate need to squeeze through a small gap. Creatures can squeeze through gaps that are one size lower than them. So even large creatures can squeeze down a 5 foot wide passage, but huge creatures won't be able to. Then we have a little bit about increasing and decreasing sizes due to magical effects. Speaking of magical effects, we're looking at area effects part 2. Spells and other magical effects like Dragon Breath can affect multiple creatures at once by including them within a cone, cylinder or line. So, as we've already explored in 3A, we've discovered that some abilities have area effects, being cone, cylinder, line, and it reminds us here as well that they have a point origin and will always be considered coming from usually the caster or sometimes a place on the battlefield. So we've got more detailed looks here at 3 types. So cone, we have a cone here going from 5 feet up to about 25 feet wide there. And we'll hit the 2 Dragonborn, but not this one as he's outside. We have a cylinder here, which looks to be about 20 by 20 feet. And again, we see it hits these 2 Dragonborn, but not this one. And our wizard is casting it, and he's chosen a point on the battlefield to be the effect area. And lines, as shown here by using dice, are drawn in a straight line from the creature in question. So 10 feet across, so 2 dice basically, 2 squares width wise, and it goes out in a straight line up to the maximum length. So yeah, nicely covering a lot of spells, even gives examples of what certain attacks will be classed as. But yeah, very handy for our wizard users to learn and read up. Moving on then, we have mounted combat. A knight charging into battle on a warhorse or a wizard casting spells on the back of a griffin. Mounted combat could give your hero the edge on the battlefield. So yeah, as we've explored previously, there are ways we can enter the battlefield atop mounts. It's been hinted at, but this goes into a little more detail. So yeah, riding a mount can greatly increase your character's speed as you gain the speed of the mount in question. You can only ride a creature that is one size larger than you. For example, a gnome being small could ride a pony, but a dragonborn being medium could not. But both can, however, ride a horse. You can mount or dismount a creature that's within 5 feet of you during your move. Doing so will cost you a certain amount of movement, up to half your speed. Sometimes you'll be thrown from your creature, so you might be needing to take a DC 10 save, dexterity check for falling off your mount, whether you'll land prone within 5 feet or if you're lucky enough to get off and stand. So there are many different mounts in the Forgotten Realms, almost said Mortal Realms. Once mounted, a character has 2 options: control the mount or let it act independently. Most are fairly easy to control, such as domesticated horses and donkeys, while others have a stronger will and will prefer to take control of things themselves, such as a dragon or a Pegasi. Yeah. So we have the Cavalier attitude. There is a source book that gives you a Cavalier type, which gives you more expertise in using a mount. And there are, of course, a variety of exotic mounts, as we've mentioned: dragons, there's Pegasi, unicorns, hippogriffs, wyverns, and griffins. Moving on to character creation pages, we have a look at alignment. So, a battle between the forces of good and evil? In D&D, it's rarely that simple. So, whether it's the DM or the players controlling a character, there is the chance that that character has a alignment towards a specific alignment? A cause. There we go. So there are 2 factors that can be used, which will be detailed over the page. But This can be a good way to add more character to your character. Over the course of longer campaigns, it's not unusual for a character to change alignment. Sometimes NPCs will be swayed off camera, as it were, to join a new cause. So there's a few examples here of characters we can take. So we have heroes of Falcon Grace, such as Anakin from Star Wars, Scarlet Witch from Marvel, and even Lucifer. And there's even villains that have triumphed over darkness, such as Heracles, Prince Zuko, and even the Winter Soldier. So here we have our different breakdowns of alignments. So if you are on Facebook, you've probably seen the meme. Lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. That 3x3 grid where we have specific characters aligned to a specific type. So yeah, pretty much they are self-explanatory. Lawful good, you are a firm believer of laws and traditions and will try to uphold those. Neutral good, you believe that people do require help according to their own needs, and sometimes it's fine to break rules to achieve that. Chaotic good is, yeah, rules are more guidelines really. We have lawful neutral, so nothing is more important than the rules you live by. Neutral, this world must be kept in balance, never to tip one way or the other. And chaotic neutral, your personal freedom is the most valuable thing and you'll do whatever you must to maintain it. Lawful evil, you value loyalty and order as much as the means by which to elevate yourself. Neutral evil, you lack compassion and coldly do whatever you must to achieve your ends. And finally, chaotic neutral then, chaotic evil, even, you have very little care for anyone. You only act on the whim. You're spiteful, sadistic, and malicious, reveling in death and destruction. And finally, there is, of course, the half an alignment, which is unaligned. Those that will particularly not align themselves to anything. These are usually reserved for wild creatures or even a construct guarding a temple. Moving on then, we have a page all about the tools. So we've had several pages already looking at the different toolkits that we can get at the start of character creation. And this goes into a little more detail about what tools are. Having the right tool for the job can make your life easier, even in a fantasy setting. Tools are handy items, and every character has a toolkit that they will use, whether it's a lockpick kit, a repairing kit, or even a document forging kit. As you see here, we've got some tinkerer tools, a watch, and a clockwork dragon. Sometimes the DM will require you to take a roll against a stat in order to see if you successfully use the tool. So a dexterity check here for carving fine detail on wood, but a strength check if it's a particularly hard type of wood. And we got a list here of all the different toolkits. I won't go through them, there's quite a lot to go through, but we have stuff like a disguise kit, forgery kit, herbalism kit, musical instruments, and thief tools, which thief Krantor will most likely have these on him at some point. And there's of course artisan tools, so these are sort of weapon-like things, but we see a nice description here of them. There's shovels, tongs, hammers, even the anvil itself can be considered a tool. But yeah, all the different tools listed here, how much it costs to buy, and how much it will cost you in weight to carry. So moving on then, we look at different backgrounds. So I did accidentally get these mistaken with a particular class, but these aren't classes, these are the individual backgrounds that a class can have. Outlanders here heed the call of the wild with D&D's survival specialist background. See here a human who's dressed in greens and browns, has a magical pine cone and a spiritual fox there, a oaken staff and a backpack to carry her essentials in. So if you like playing someone who is rough, rugged and self-sufficient, a Outlander is perfect for you. Whether you're a hunter-gatherer that provides for a small remote community, or if you are someone who, like this gentleman here, has given over to the wildness and will particularly spend more time with animals than civilized people. So we've got a rather Tarzan-like guy here, but instead of apes, he grew up with a bear. What you do with your own bears on your own time is up to you. So we've got a couple of tips here. Role-playing as an Outlander. So usually they are seen as feral or savage by civilized people. So you might want to consider that. Hailing from the wilderness. It doesn't necessarily mean you're wild, though you could if you want to. But you simply value things a little different to those that come from civilizations. Then we also have Outlander talents, so take a good bit of time to think about which talents you want to give to your Outlander. Most come with standards such as being able to search for food, as well as the ability to become particularly friendly with animals. Moving on then, we have our last 2 pages to look at. So we have lore, which is Neverwinter, so one of the most famous cities in Dungeons & Dragons. Once known as the Jewel of the North, the city of Neverwinter was rent in two by a volcanic eruption half a century ago. Now the fabled city of skilled hands has rebuilt itself, welcoming merchants, craftfolk and adventurers from across Faerun. So yeah, the city was roughly 50 years ago ripped in two by a volcanic eruption. And yeah, it's took quite a while to repair the city. Part of it is still in shambles, but it is inhabited by some of the shadier folk. Here we have a little text box all about Digalt Neverember, who is the Lord Protector of Neverwinter. Sort of kind of like Denethor from Lord of the Rings. He's not the ruler, but he's the ruler because there's no other ruler. Basically, he's in charge of Neverwinter because the ruling line of Neverwinter has pretty much gone into myth. Kind of like how in Lord of the Rings, Aragorn spent a lot of his time up in the north with the Rangers and broke connection to the crown pretty much. But yeah, he's a nice guy normally, but he's not, as it mentions over here, he's not akin to sending out a assassin to kill anyone who is a Algondar scion, which is a specific background that you can take from the Icewind Dale adventure, which will eventually give you the ability to claim Neverwinter. Neverwinter has its opposite, which is Evernight. So in the Shadowfell, the sort of dark plane, we have Shadowfell, which is in Shadowfell even, we have the city of Evernight, so a cracked stone city with roads trampled with dust, mostly inhabited by zombies, vampires and ghouls. And Neverwinter is, of course, the city of opportunity, so it's home to a good amount of adventurers, craftsmen and traders. Finally then, we have a page all about the Lord's Alliance. So this is a combination of the different lords of all the cities over the Sword Coast. The nobility of the Sword Coast nations have formed a coalition to protect their power and wealth against chaos and evil. So everyone wants to sleep safe in their homes at night, and that's what the Lord Alliance's ethos is. They try to keep a rather peaceful and civilized society. It's not a metaphor, it's actually a combination of all the different lords and leaders. We see here Leiral Silverhand, who is the open lord of Waterdeep. Over the page we have a few more bits of information. So if you want to join the Lords Alliance, you can. You will of course be asked to do quite a considerable amount of admin work, I guess would be one way of doing it. You will often be used as a diplomat sent through to different towns on behalf of the Alliance, and you'll also be required to stand against the enemies that cause them harm. If you go against the Lord's Alliance, you might find yourself ending up in a place known as Revel's End. This is a giant prison complex, which is considered a slightly more heavily guarded prison complex, and is ruled specifically by the Lord's Alliance. So you might be able to get out of here. There is the parole committee called the Absolution Council. They will deem whether you've served your sentence well and are fit to enter society. Finally then, we have a list of the different Alliance members. So as we've mentioned over the page, we had Leiral Silverhand, and we've also met Dagolt Neverember. There's also Tarn Hornblade, High Mage of Silvery Moon, Ulder Ravengard, Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate, Morwen Daggerford, Duchess of Daggerford, Selin Ramur, Markion of Mirabar, Dowl Harpel of Longsaddle, Dagnabbit Waybeard, love that name, Dagnabbit, Queen of Mithral Hall, Lord Dornair Ilzimmer of Amphail, and Nestra Rufiol of Water Baron of Yata. Finally then, we have our encounter for the issue. So, a pretty laid back adventure this time around. We are having fun at the fair. So, balance for second level characters, time 1 to 2 hours. So the overview: you are sent by Lady Keris Daunt, a visiting noble from Neverwinter, and he announces that Phandalin will be host to a fair. There'll be a grand tournament for the heroes, but unknown to all, her life is in mortal danger. As the tourney plays out, the adventurers uncover a plot to usurp her title. Dastardly scheme masterminded by her own knight, Sir Bertolot Malser. You need to thwart the plot and save the Lady Daunt. So, win the reward and uncover the evil plot set against her. So we got our encounter beginning here. We meet Lady Daunt. Things that you can do during that the DM will act out during the meeting that may give a few hints as to what's happening. Of course, a descriptive picture there of Lady Keris Daunt herself. We also have the ability to explore the fairground. There's different contests: archery, the hog hurling contest. So, yeah, pretty fun. Like I said, nice laid back adventure. Hopefully with very little fighting happening. But we do have stats for nobles. Sir Malser there as well. A very evil looking guy. And even a horse on the back there. So if you win the tournament and confront Malser, you will be rewarded with the Saddle of the Cavalier, which is a item while in the saddle on a mount. You can't be dismounted against your will if you're conscious, and attack rolls against the mount have disadvantage. So yeah, pretty good. Right, so let's bring everything in and I'll give you my final thoughts. So there we have issue 8 of Dungeons and Dragons Adventure. Really nice issue. We got lots of information to take in. We've learned quite a few new things as well that will be helpful for creating our characters as well as our gaming. The new mission was pretty nice laid back one, just a chilled, relaxing game. Other than that, not a lot to say. Like I said, good lot of information, a very informative issue, plenty of pages to add to our binder now. Can't talk much more about the dice. I've already said they're pretty good. They're a nice, high quality set. Like I said, some of them might be a little harder to read, like at a distance there. Yeah, that's kind of all blending in together. It's not the easiest to see, especially that 19 there. Wow. Was it 19 or 18? One of the numbers. But yeah, they blend in a bit, especially at distance. But yeah, all in all, still another nice set of dice to add to our collection. We will hopefully get something other than dice later on in the collection. I know we're getting more character standees as well as a couple of monster standees. So we're getting character standees for our forest gnome and our dragonborn characters. And we're getting a ghoul and a displacer beast for facing in one of the upcoming adventures. Hopefully we will get more tokens. I'd like to have some for perhaps mounts, ones to represent NPCs we meet and various other enemies that we encounter. I know we're up against a lot of goblins soon in a two-parter mission. It would be nice if we had some models for them. Failing that though, you could just use Lord of the Rings miniatures, which I may well do for myself. I have a good amount of goblins to use. But yeah. Last thing then before we say goodbye for today, I've been watching a few videos about solo play. So I'm going to give it a try over the week or weekend, doing perhaps mission 1 on my own using a solo play guide online, and yeah, I will hopefully be able to do missions soon. Whether it will be ideal for everyone, because you are required to buy at least one book, which is about $8. I think it's on an American site, so $8, which is £6 or £7. You will require a tablet or something in order to have the pages open. There's a lot of charts and stuff in there, but I've been watching a few videos on YouTube. Ginny Die, pretty good one, and I've forgotten his name. Epic Solo, pretty good guys. Check them out if you want to have a little bit of an insight in solo play adventure. But yeah, I will hopefully do my own for you guys at some point in the near future. I mentioned before I'll probably try and do something over the Christmas period and get a couple of videos out for you on that. So yeah, we will be of course getting more. There will be more videos soon. We have 2 more issues left to go through, and I'm waiting on my next delivery after that. So yeah, Still plenty more to come, and yeah, I hope they do change up things. They did do a survey back along, which is pretty good. A lot of people left a lot of feedback, mainly about the dice. Some of it was good, some of it was not so good. I know myself, I left quite a bit of good, positive feedback. I love the collection, just that the amount of dice compared to the other, they're not really essential aids, but aids I find would help improve play, such as the standees, maps, etc., is sorely lacking. We definitely could do with a bit more. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know what you think of the collection coming out in the near future in the comment section down below, and we'll have a good little natter. Also, let me know if you've followed any of the aforementioned YouTubers, Ginny Die and Epic Solo. Let me know if you've encountered their videos and what you think of them. I think they're pretty cool, really well done, and hopefully I'll be able to do something just as cool. So yeah, thank you all again for watching, and until next time, keep rolling those crits.